President Trump is handling this Kavanaugh allegation differently than previous claims against himself or the people around him, and that is a good thing. He's calling for process. He's calling to let the sides at least be heard. Now, he's not calling for the FBI to look at them again. That would be the most helpful thing. But even what he's asking for right now, it's not sitting well with his supporters. Case in point, Amy Kremer, co-founder of the group Women for Trump. Welcome back to Primetime.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
Amy, I see inconsistency in your position. You say sexual assault is a serious allegation and shouldn't be used like this by Democrats as a political weapon. If it's a serious allegation, you should take it seriously and let Dr. Ford be heard. Fair point.
Absolutely.
Then what's wrong with them doing this on Monday?
I don't think it needs to be done in public. I think it needs to be done behind closed doors. And we don't need a big spectacle. And that's exactly what it's going to turn into. And you and I both know it. Look, I feel that way about.
But continue.
Well, I mean, you said earlier that you thought it was probably going to get ugly. It is. We're never going to
I need to see it because it will get ugly. That's my point.
We're never going
Continue.
to prove it or disprove it. It was 35 years ago, and probably more than anything, they'll walk out of there and nothing will have been proven or disproven.
But
we'll
that's
be
not
right
the bar.
where we are now.
That's
but
not the bar. And I'll tell you why. It's not. This isn't the court of law, okay? Even there,
You're right.
You only know what you show. But there's a burden. We're not going to have that burden here. There's a different one. Advise and consent. Transparency. Those are the exigencies and the expectations of public office in this confirmation process. Now, we could have a whole discussion a different day about whether or not the confirmation process lives up to that. I would argue it does not. But you can't have this in closed door because I won't know what happened. And it will be engineered for political advantage, this time for your side. Next time, maybe for the other side. It must be transparent and open. We must see it and judge for ourselves and judge those who advise and consent thereafter. Fair point?
No, I disagree with you. I think this should have been handled weeks ago. Dianne Feinstein sat on this for weeks. She could have taken this to Judge Kavanaugh. She could have taken it, and I think she had a duty to take it to the other committee members, and she did not.
The woman asked for anonymity, Dr. Ford. What do you do with that?
You know what? She could have been granted her anonymity, and it could have been divulged to the committee members. I didn't say it had to be made public.
But of what use is it to the committee if they don't know who it is?
They should have decided how to deal with it as a committee. When the Democrats are accusing Republicans of withholding all these documents, they're holding back all these documents from the Bush years and so on and so forth, but they're holding back one of the most important documents concerning this confirmation, and they sit on it for 6 or 8 weeks. That's unacceptable, and Dianne Feinstein's responsible for that. There's absolutely no excuse. It is one thing to keep her identity private and not go public with it, but there's no reason it should not have been divulged to that committee.
All right,
no reason.
So a couple follow-ups. One, why doesn't the president open it up to the FBI? You'll get your wish if it's behind closed doors, and you get somebody to vet the information.
Well, I don't think that you can say that he hasn't asked the FBI. We don't know that. He hasn't mentioned the FBI. And why can't the committee ask for the FBI? I mean,
well, why haven't they?
I don't know.
Somebody should ask for the FBI to do it. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do think they should. But
so you're okay with the FBI vetting the information?
Yeah, absolutely, I am. I have no problem with that.
Good.
But also, and I believe that they're not going to come up with anything. He's been through 6 FBI investigations.
Well, they went through 6 things. They never found her.
Well, I mean, they've been through 6. And Chris, you know, at the end of the day, nothing's going to come of it. We're never going to prove it or disprove it. I get tired of Congress. It's not just about this. Congress has these committee hearings all the time. And I mean, it's all for show. It's a dog and pony show so they can get their sound bites. And then nothing ever comes of it. And I think it's a waste of people's taxpayer money. And it's a waste of our time.
Well, look, look, you got to go case by case. Some of the hearings are helpful. Some of they aren't. I am a big critic of the confirmation process. I started off by saying that, so I'll give you that point. However, this is not just another item of grandstanding. You have a woman who came forward with a serious allegation. You say, well, we'll never know one way or the other. Well, that is not the standard of whether or not we try to review situations, is it, Amy? If we didn't have complete confidence as to whether or not we'd get an outcome, so we just didn't look, that'd be a pretty lousy standard for administration of justice, would it not?
I think that the committee needs to handle it inside the committee and then decide what to do with it. Otherwise, you're setting a very dangerous precedent here.
Why? What's dangerous about let's hear all the sides and the witnesses and then decide?
Let the committee hear it, and if it's a credible accusation and they think there's something there, then bring it out to the public. Otherwise, why bring it forward?
So the standard that you want for this woman's allegation of sexual assault is a different one than you want for the disclosure of the documents that they don't like from Kavanaugh.
You're not going to put those words into my mouth. The thing about it is that somebody is bringing forth an allegation 35 years ago with no corroborating evidence.
There is corroborating evidence.
Oh, her therapist notes? I mean, how do you know she didn't write them? How do you know she didn't write them? We don't know that. We haven't heard from the therapist. Look, I'm not questioning her credibility. She has a right to be heard.
You just did.
Kavanaugh has a right to be heard. But what I'm saying, yes, and the witnesses that were there, the one witness that she says was there totally denies it. I mean, her story isn't adding up, but the bottom line is, let it be dealt with in the committee before you bring all this public. I mean, I feel bad for her whether it is true or not true, because she's in a situation. If it's true, it's horrible what happened to her. If it's not true, it's horrible that she's being used this way by the Democrats. Bottom line, I have a problem. We are coming to a place in our society where all of a sudden you can claim sexual harassment against somebody and it ruins their life, and there's no due process, and that is a very dangerous precedent for us to set. It's a slippery slope, Chris. You would want due process.
There's no question that you're outlining a concern. We want due process. Your problem is you are fighting due process in this situation. This is the best we can do. It's not going to make it in a criminal context. So the best we can do is for the rest of us to hear it and make our own judgment. If you care about due process so that somebody is not unfairly accused or unfairly victimized, then you want transparency, and this is our best way to get it.
The committee has decided to have a public hearing, and I'm glad. And I think it's interesting that they have, because the Democrats refused to meet with him. How many of them refused to meet with him? They refused to get on a call with him today. Now they're refusing to be part of the hearing. I mean, all they want is a spectacle because they want to gin up the hysteria machine, because they want to make this a political issue for midterms, and because they want to derail this confirmation process.
It is a political issue inherently, not what happened to Dr. Ford or did not happen, but the selection of a judge. It's all about politics. It's all about power, and not enough about policy and candor. But again, that is a conversation for another day. Amy Kremer, thank you for making your case on Primetime.
Thank you.